Hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show. I'm your host, Dominic Konowski. We have some predictions today. Football season is still a very long way away, but the West Haven Blue Devils varsity football team has released their schedule for the 2020-2021 season. For those who don't know, I did commentate the Blue Devils JV games last year. This is varsity, though. I did commentate a couple of the varsity games last year. You could find that in the playlist commentating West Haven Blue Devil games. I'll leave that in the description below for any of you guys who want to check that out. But yeah, let's get into things. So let's go a little bit back towards last year, 2019-2020 season, 2-8 record. Ended up dropping from Division 1 to Division 2, which definitely hurt the team spirit-wise. But I gotta say, that 2-8 season, basically every one of those games, they lost by a touchdown. So it wasn't big defeats or anything like that. Very close games. And they had a lot of players out last season, either for the whole season or parts of the season, due to injuries. So the injury bug definitely affected them a ton last season. And now they lost some key players due to graduation. Those key players being Jordan Berrios, who was a safety and wide receiver, quarterback Andre Wentis, and offensive lineman Justin Molina, which played huge parts, especially Andre, who was the quarterback. I gotta say, he had a pretty good season for a team that went 2-8. You know, I don't think really anyone on the team is to blame. I just think it's injuries that are to blame for that. But I gotta say, I went to almost every varsity game last year, and the heart and soul was in every game. They always tried their best, but injuries, play a big part on any team's season, no matter how good of the players you have or no matter how bad of the players you have on the roster. The key players that are still on the team are Keyshawn Toba, who's a nose guard and a tackle. Most likely, he's going into his all-state season coming up, most likely, as he just dominated 2019 and 2020 defensively. Malachi Wright, offensive lineman and running back. This guy got wheels. You can always count on Malachi. You can always count on him. And then we got the tackle Joe Hawkins, who tore it up. He tore it up in 2019 and 2020. And then you have Dante Noel, who's really the star wide receiver on the team. Always out there making catches. Let's see on how they're going to do. Now, there's 10 games for the high school football season. Now, let me remind you, a schedule definitely different from last season. If any of you guys know the schedule from last season, definitely going to be different due to them dropping from D1 to D2. But let's start. The first game is on 9/11. Home opener against Harding. I do predict that to be a win. So, nice 1-0 start to the season. Harding they haven't had a winning season in a while. And then, second game, Hamden. 2-0 after that. Win, still undefeated. Pretty good start of the season so far. And then going up against East Hartford, who has really no really standout players on the team. 3-0 start of the season, undefeated still. And then they go to Fairfield Ward. That's a win. Nice 4-0. Undefeated. Fairfield Ward, they haven't had a winning season in I don't know how long. It's kind of sad that they haven't had a winning season in a while. But here's when things kind of go kind of downhill, I guess you could say. So back to home after a 3-game away stand. There's 3 games away from home. This is their second home game of the season against Foreign. I do think that's going to be their first loss of the season. No longer undefeated, 4-1 record. Already 2 games more that they won than they did in 2019 and 20. So already having a pretty good season. But I do think they are going to lose that game. I don't think it's going to be by a touchdown or anything. I feel like it's going to be by a field goal, 3 points. And I do think that will be a low-scoring game, to be honest with you guys. And then here we go. The legendary Hill House West Haven rivalry. I do think that's going to be a win. Hill House. Basically, every good player that was on the team last year has been committed after that season. They got really no good players on that team. I do think that's going to be a win. So, 5-1 now as they leave Hill House. And the Hill House games, those are just huge games. The Hill House and Notre Dame games, West Haven against West Haven, those are just huge games. Everyone goes to that. Everyone loves those games. Always action-packed. Never disappoints. A couple years back, I remember that they, when they went up against Hill House, they filled up the Yale Bowl, which is just really legendary for sports in the college sport world. Now, of course, this isn't college, this is high school, but that just goes to show how many people show up. The Hill House games are definitely ones that you gotta go to if you ever come down to Connecticut. Or maybe if you live in Connecticut, you know, go to one of those games. Next up, Notre Dame, their second rivalry game, back-to-back rivalry games. This time, it's at home at Ken Strong Stadium. Notre Dame, West Haven against the Blue Devils. This is going to be interesting. Last year's Notre Dame game, they did beat West Haven, but that game, they were swapping leads like crazy. It was like watching the Oprah show. You get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, you get an interception, you get a touchdown, you get an interception. It was a great game. Notre Dame ended up winning, though, and I do think that Notre Dame will win this game, too. So West Haven is now 5-2 in the win-loss column, as they have lost so far against Foreign and Notre Dame West Haven. Going up against Cheshire after that game, I do think that's going to be another loss against Cheshire. Cheshire's football team is just stacked. They've been good for a while, and this year I really don't think it's going to be any different. They have a lot of good players on that team, arguably one of the top 5 best high school football teams in the state. I do think that's going to be a loss, so West Haven is now 5-3. So 2 more games left. The next game, they go up against Wilbercross, which I do think is going to be a win. Wilbercross, you know, they're kind of on and off. You don't know what to expect from them. So 6-3, and then here we are, final game of the season against Fairfield Prep. And I think this is going to be a very, very close game. Fairfield Prep, just like Cheshire, arguably one of the top 5 high school football teams in the state of Connecticut. They're going to put up a very, very big and tough fight. And you could kind of say that there's a rivalry between Fairfield Prep and West Haven. Not that big of a one, but there is a somewhat rivalry against those 2 teams. So that could be an interesting game too. I do think, though, that West Haven will be able to pull off that win. But that definitely will be a close game. So, season is over. After 10 games, I am predicting the West Haven Blue Devils varsity football team to go 7-3 in the win-loss column with a 5-0 road record and a 2-3 home record. Going back up to Division 1 after the season, I don't know. I would love to see them do that, though. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. This is one of my long prediction videos I've done. I love doing prediction videos on sport team season, on how I think they're gonna go. But yeah, comment down below if you guys agree with this or not.